I'd like to introduce you to Heather Perry from the Coffee Klatch in San Dimas, California. Again, hit the red star when you're ready, and best of luck.
Good morning. My name is Heather Perry and I'm here with the Coffee Klatch. I'm thrilled that you guys can join me on an espresso experience that I hope you'll find satisfies all the senses. As you can see by the menu in front of you, our experience today will begin with a single rich and creamy cappuccino. For the second course, I'll be featuring a single espresso. Now the blend I'm using today features beans from the Americas, Indonesia, and Africa. From from the Americas, I'll be highlighting an organic fair trade Brazil that comes to us from the Fokofundo Co-op. From Indonesia, a semi-washed Sumatra lip tuar, and from Africa, a natural Ethiopian Yerdisha. I'll be talking more about how the blend comes together and what you can really expect on your palate when I actually serve the espresso. And then for the final course, I'll be offering my signature beverage. As some of you may already know, I actually grew up in a family coffee business. So my beginnings in coffee really lie in my parents' love for coffee. And I can remember growing up going to one coffee house in particular on a pretty regular basis, the Coffee Grinder. It was near our house, so we would stop there most mornings on the way to school, and I can also remember spending a lot of weekends there. One weekend in particular, my mom had asked the owner if he could create her a drink of chocolate and almonds, two of her favorite ingredients. Sure enough, he came up with something and she loved it. She began to order it pretty regularly, and it also began to catch on with some of the other customers. And then one day we walked in, and there it is on the menu, a Cindy Special. And I just remember thinking how cool my mom was, because she had her own name on the menu board, and she had her very own drink. And it's really moments like that that brought my family from a family who enjoyed coffee to a family who really had a passion for coffee. So today I'm going to recreate, or actually I'm going to make my version of a Cindy Special for you, an homage. So I'm going to begin preparing some of that right now, if you'll excuse me. So I'm going to begin by building a fig simple syrup. And I'm going to go ahead and start by zesting a little bit of a lemon. Now the reason I add the lemon is just to add a lightness and a freshness to the syrup. I also think the acidity and the zest helps to kind of balance out the sweetness of the rest of the syrup. Here I have figs that I've reconstituted in some hot water. So I'm pretty much making a simple syrup here, and I'm going to use both the liquid and the figs in here to really give the syrup some added flavor. And then for my sugar, I chose to use a combination of both white and brown. Now the reason I chose to use both is because I really like the very clean flavor that white sugar brings, but I also really enjoy the deep, kind of rich molasses flavor that brown sugar tends to add, and it kind of brings another dimension to the syrup. So as you can see, I'm just really combining all these in the pan. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the hot plate so the rest of the syrup can go ahead and finish dissolving. And while that takes place, I will begin your first course, the cappuccino. I chose it because not only do I find it to be very sweet on its own, but I find in a cappuccino it has a beautiful rich butteriness that I enjoy. And I'm also just going to take a moment to purge my grinder. cappuccino is not only is it visually appealing, but I love the sensuality. When you take that first sip and the foam floods into your mouth and then just melts away onto your palate, leaving you with lingering notes of toasted almond from the rich buttery milk and subtle notes of cocoa from the espresso. Please enjoy.
Big round of applause for Heather's Cappuccino.
And then follow those notes onto your palate, where you'll also find the body near the back of your palate, and right in the finish, subtle hints of berry. So please do drink down the full experience of the espresso. Syrup that I made earlier, I simply strained it, placed it at the bottom of the cup, and topped it with a shot of espresso. Now I'm just mixing these two together, and it's this combination that's going to give the drink its unique chocolatey tones. What you'll come to see is that there's no actual chocolate in the drink. And now I'm just going to top it with a cool almond cream. Now the almond cream I've actually prepared ahead of time simply by toasting almonds, adding cream, and allowing them to sit together for 24 hours, which is why I prepared it ahead of time. There's no sweetness in the cream, just the fresh almonds and the sweet cream as well. Now the reason that I'm pouring the cream in like this is to get the distinct layering in the cup, and this is going to affect the way that it tastes when you drink it. When you take that first sip, you'll first get the cool cream, and then underneath will slide out the warm big syrup and espresso. And as they combine in your mouth, you get all the notes of chocolate and almonds. Okay. So I'm not quite done yet. What I love about this drink is how representative it is of me. You know, California grows 80% of all of the world's almonds, so I love the fact that I get to use almonds in this drink. I love the fact that I get to use figs, and definitely I love citrus. Very Southern California. And then it also represents everything I am in my beginnings. So now, as a finishing touch, I'm just going to spritz the back of each cup with a bit of lemon peel. Now, it's this that's going to really heighten your senses, so that when you're first going to take that drink, your nose is excuse me. When you go in to take that first drink, you'll know your nose will first be greeted by the aroma of lemon.
1 minute, Ruby.
And that will heighten your senses. And then as you continue to drink, you'll get the cool cream, followed by the warm espresso. The warm espresso is slowly kind of melting the cream right now, so please do take more than one sip to fully experience and see how the drink develops. It's been a pleasure serving you today, and enjoy homage.
Seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Time.
1.
Today we watched as 6 professional baristas presented their talents and specialty coffee expertise. This indeed was an exceptional gathering of espresso experts. So finalists, when you hear your names called, please join me here on stage. Chris Baca, Ritual Coffee Roast. Ritual Coffee Roast in San Francisco. Give it up for Kyle Glanville and Chelsea Coffee. From Nick Griffith and Chelsea Coffee in Los Angeles, California. Heather Perry, Coffee Klatch, San Diego, California. And last but not least, Brian Wilbur and Chelsea Coffee in Los Angeles, California. Regional Barista Champion will have an automatic spot in the semifinals at the United States Barista Championship, which takes place in May in Minneapolis, Minnesota. In 3rd place, Ms. Heather Perry from Coffee. In 2nd place, please welcome Kyle Glanville. The 2008 Western Regional Barista Champion is Christopher.
This weekend we came with 3 different blends and then 5 single origins on top of that. So yesterday we used one of the blends, today we mixed and we're using the same blend, but instead of using that same bag, we're using what we mixed today because we don't like what we used yesterday anymore. So competitions are 2 different ways. Some people approach it with, I'm here to have a great time and learn and things like that. I put a lot of time and hard work into these, so I really come here to do well. And it's not a matter of being cocky or not trying other things, it's just you want to focus on what you're there to do as well. So it's very easy to get distracted, and you're by no means mean or, but you still are there to do something, and that's generally what I do. So I'm in like my own little world, unfortunately, which sounds terrible when I say it out loud, but when I'm not at our cafe, I'm usually at our warehouse practicing, and if I'm not there, I'm at home. I live a very exciting life of practicing, and that's pretty much the extent of it.